Hello to my dear friends, how are you? This is Tamera Weeks and my daughter Micah Weeks, and this is Incontinence Saturday. And how are you today? How are you today? You want to say hi to your friends? Yeah, are you glad it's Saturday? Yeah. I get a lot of questions, have over a period of time received a lot of questions about barrier cream. I have 5 of them in my hand that I'm going to tell you about. So I'll tell you about this first, and then at the end, I will tell you a little bit about our week and Christian's tonsillitis, being in the ER twice afterwards, what's going on with my head, what I've tried, and what's going on with that, and how I am really doing today. But first, I'll talk about this, and then you can hang around. Oh, and I've got an 11-second clip that I'm also going to add on here. Micah came home with her dress. They had taken it off of her, completely full of food. I mean, you will be appalled when you see this. I'm going to put it on another video, and I am totally ranting about that, but I'll add that little clip at the end. So do watch that part because I want to hear what you're thinking. But the real reason you clicked on the video is because you want to hear about barrier cream, so I'll talk about this first. Okay, so this very first one, we haven't, okay, well, let me give you a little background first on Micah and needing barrier creams. So when Micah was a baby, for years, we used cloth diapers. Cloth diapers, as you know, are cloth, which means there is no plastic backing, there's only a certain amount of absorption. And when they're little tiny babies, I mean, you're just changing them just like that, even when they're in, even when they're in disposable diapers. There's just something about a baby, you just have a tendency to change them pretty regular. As they get older, there is more voiding. There's a greater amount of void because your body, the bigger your body gets, the more you void. That means that the cloth diaper holds less over time. Micah did get a lot, and we did this for up to the first 3 children. We have 6 children, and we had when we got to baby number 3 and they were all in cloth diapers, we did that for a few months, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I absolutely cannot do this. That was so much work that I just could not do that anymore. So hang on. You know, I lose my train of thought because I'm thinking about so many things, and my head really does hurt. But I wasn't going to. Last week I didn't actually give you an incontinence video on this. I was ready to do this, and they were pounding on the roof, and we got the roof on, got the gutters on, didn't get the leaf guards on. That's a different story. So when you use cloth diapers, the wetness stays right up next to the skin. And if the children were eating something that was high in acid, like spaghetti sauce, so eating spaghetti, eating pizza, those are just the 2 things that come to the top of my mind, then it would cause a red rash. And we never had any money when our children were little, and we always used whatever the cheapest. This is Equate brand, so this is the Walmart brand diaper rash ointment that we used way back then. We also used zinc oxide. You can get straight zinc oxide. Let's see, I don't think I have that in my hand. You can get straight zinc oxide, or you can, and it comes in a tube just like this, and it's in the same spot as diaper rash ointment. Or you can get creams that have zinc oxide in them. So when the regular stuff wouldn't work, we had tried that, and then we would try Desitin to see if, that more expensive brand was a little bit better. So we would just use whatever we could way back then. As Micah's gotten older, and you know that now she uses disposable diapers and briefs and pull-ups and liners, so we just, and it holds more. So that is a very good thing because she's bigger, it holds more, no big deal. So it's no longer a matter of that wetness sitting up on her skin for a long period of time. Even when you're a baby, it just doesn't take very long for wetness to sit on their skin and all of a sudden they have a rash. I hope that I am making sense as I'm talking here. What we've come across as Micah got older, and when I mean older, I want to say 5, 7, 8, still really young, and I'm guessing on the time frame, but it would have been way back when she was in elementary school. That part I remember. She would get a spot on her hip, and we could not make that go away, and we think that that was caused by the just the plastic from the diaper being up next to her skin. So we had somebody that came up with the idea to take women's panty liners, cut them in half, put the padded side up next to her skin, and put some kind of a diaper rash ointment. So put the diaper rash ointment on her skin, then put the padded side down, and then take the sticky part off, and then it would stick to the diaper, and we would do that on both sides of her hip. It was an amazing idea because it actually worked. Over time, Micah's skin got used to doing that, and then it didn't work so well. I don't remember what we ended up doing, and it kind of comes and goes. It looks like it comes mostly in the summertime, and that would make more sense. Your skin is hot, you've got plastic on it, and so it will cause things like that to happen. As she's gotten older, it doesn't happen as much, but we're used to this happening at least once a year. But we are at the beginning of August, and she has not had any skin breakdown on her hip because in the last few years it's been mostly on one side as opposed to the other side. And I forgot a cream. In just a second, I'm going to turn the camera off and go grab another cream that I just remembered we've used. So as she's gotten older, we've tried like a few times to put those little pads on there, and I don't know that it really did anything, and we've been able to manage it without it. But let me show you these creams that I have in my hand. So as far as in the peri area of needing barrier creams, we don't really have to do that like hardly ever. And if there is any redness, I'm going to assume that it's one of those things more related to food that she's eaten, and then that just kind of clears up by itself. So we've really not had any problem. And Micah is now 27. Somebody asked me if her birthday is in August. Micah's birthday is in October. Her birthday is October the 30th. She was born at 8:30 p.m. Do you remember that? Do you remember being born? Yeah, it was a long, long labor, wasn't it? It was long for you and long for me both, huh? We didn't think this girl was ever going to come out. So this right here, I actually got this. My mother passed away in 2014, and I actually got this from my mother. It came from hospice care. I've not used it on Micah because we haven't needed to, and I don't even know if this is an over-the-counter thing that you can get. It's called Lantiseptic Skin Protectant, and it has lanolin in it. So I'm assuming this is something that could be used. We've used the store brand. I thought I had some Desitin in my hand. I know that we have used Desitin. Dr. Smith's Diaper Rash Ointment eliminates problem diaper rash fast. We have used this. Balmex Adult Care Rash Cream. Neutralizes irritants. We've used this. So we've used all of these like on that hip area that I'm talking about, but I don't know what's different about this year, but she has not had any kind of problem. Okay, Calmaceptine ointment. This right here, you have to go ask for this at the pharmacy. So I have to go to the store and ask for it at the pharmacy. You don't have to have a prescription, but you have to ask for it. And this is the most expensive one, and I want to say this is about $10 for this tube right here. One of the CNAs a few years ago recommended that to me because, man, we were just trying everything, and we couldn't get any relief. There is a prescription medication. I'm going to turn the camera off, and I'm going to go get it, and then I'm going to tell you the story of a prescription med that we have started using on her hip that actually works really well on her hip and her lower legs and her feet. So hang on just a second. Okay, this stuff right here is amazing. It's called clotrimazole and betamethasone. I don't have any idea what is in this, but it is a prescription med. And that stuff is amazing. Micah has something, I forget what it's called. It's not eczema, I don't think. I can't remember. And we go in at least once a year and the doctor looks at it. And I don't remember, you know, they use all those words. I don't know, dermatitis. I don't know what it is. But she gets a breakout on her lower legs and her feet. And so we use that prescription med. And if we use it too much, then her skin builds up a resistance against it. But when it starts really breaking out, she's been using it for the last couple of months, probably again because it's hot. She's wearing cotton socks, she's wearing those plastic AFOs, and she's wearing her shoes. So all the hot air is being trapped in there. And we can't let her feet go without her socks and shoes because her feet just dangle. You know, she's got little tiny feet, and then you get the AFO and the shoe, and then her foot goes out to here, and her foot's about this wide, and you add all this stuff, and her foot gets this wide. So it makes her legs seem like they're longer, and she can rest her foot down on the footrest of her wheelchair. Because I expect that somebody's going to say, can you let her feet air out, which is something that I've thought about doing. So, and then at nighttime she likes to wear socks. So this is what we do. So we've been using just a very thin layer. It only takes a tiny, tiny bit. That tube is not very, very big, and you don't need that much, so it lasts quite a while. But a tiny, thin layer, we've been using it in the morning and at night. It got really, really bad. It looked like a sunburn. I didn't even show it to you because I was afraid that you were going to flip out to see how bad it had gotten, but I didn't know it was getting so bad. Some CNAs are better than others about making sure they come and tell me that something is wrong. It had gotten really, really bad, and by the time I go look at it, I'm like, I can't believe that it's so bad. Started using cream morning and night, but then what we discovered is that it just got to a certain point and it wasn't getting better, and we were thinking maybe it was building up a resistance, so we went to using it just one time a day. So I think they're only using the cream now as of about 2 weeks ago or so. We're only using the cream at nighttime. We're monitoring it to see if it's getting worse or not, which reminds me, as I make the video, I need to ask where we are on this. I'm assuming that it's okay. I haven't looked at her feet for a while. But Taylor comes this afternoon, and she comes almost every night, so I will ask her how she's doing. And she's the one that brought it to my attention about it looked like Micah was maybe building up a resistance. So I said, how about we do it once a day instead of twice a day? I'm not sure that I've answered your questions about barrier cream, but these are the different kinds that we have used for the spot on her hip. She used to get it on both sides, then she just got it on one. And when I say it was bad, it'll start out like really tiny, and then before you know it, it is this big, and it is just, it's awful. Sometimes I have to take her to the doctor because I'm like, okay, we have to do something and we can't make it go away. So we've used all of those different creams on her, and then that prescription one works the best because it looks like she builds up a resistance. I can't believe that we have this many different kinds of cream because I don't usually just go out and buy all kinds of different stuff. But the reason we have is because they haven't worked. So sometimes what we'll do is we'll go back and forth between something because of the resistance that's there. Okay, so that is barrier cream. If I didn't answer your question, or you have another question that I did not cover about that, if you will let me know, I will try to answer a different question or do a better job in this one. Okay, so the rant. I'm going to put an 11-second video in here yesterday. So Micah had on a shirt, skirt, and then she had on this really pretty black and white striped dress. Pulled it out. It literally had food. Like Micah had eaten her food, and all the food just fell from the top all the way to the bottom of this dress. I mean, we're not talking about, it's just a little messy, or they washed it off, and something simple like that, because I have that episode that happened a few weeks ago, and I absolutely ranted on camera, and I was going to put it up, and I was going to make an intro on that saying, we need People that do not have a voice for themselves absolutely have to have somebody in their life to be a voice for them 24/7. And then I decided not to put it up because I didn't want at all to make the day program that Micah goes to, I did not want to make them look bad in any way. They are wonderful people and they love Micah and they love their job. Just things happen sometimes. And then I decided that I just wasn't going to put it up at all. But I have totally changed my mind, and you are totally going to get a video, and you are going to get me in the moment of absolutely ranting. So please be on the lookout for a future video. I've already got it videoed. I'm just going to make the disclaimer in the beginning that I'm not trying to make the day program look bad. But when you see this 11-second video, this totally makes whoever worked with her look bad. And I want to personally know who in the world did that? Why in the world did they do that? She had an apron in her lunchbox. They literally had to take the apron off, take it out first to get to her food underneath the apron in her lunchbox. And they got confused, and that's all you can tell me is that they got confused? No, they didn't get confused. They did not take care of Micah, and Micah doesn't have a voice, and she can't say, hey, wait a minute, you're getting me totally filthy. And then they just take it off, and they don't have, they didn't even wash it off. But I'm glad that they didn't wash it off so I can see what they do. If you watch enough of my videos, you know how much of the time I don't feel good. And yesterday was Friday. It was 3 weeks that I've had this terrible migraine. It is just a lot of pain. And then before that, I still struggle with it, you know, a lot with my head. It's just been really exaggerated the last 3 weeks, but I'm not getting to her day program enough so that I can show up and I can see what it is they're doing and who's doing what. And I'm telling you guys, it's a part-time job to watch what people do in my house with Micah, 21 visits a week, 3 visits a day, and then watch what they're doing at the day program. And I'm just beside myself. I am so upset. So I'll throw that in, and then I'll tell you real quick about Christian. Christian, I don't have any video of it, but Christian had a, hang on. Christian had a tonsillectomy. He's 19, had a tonsillectomy on Tuesday. Thursday, he was in the ER because that uvula, that thing that hangs down in the back, was swelled and he couldn't drink. He was getting dehydrated. Went in, they gave him a steroid to reduce the swelling, and then gave him an IV to hydrate his body. And then Thursday night, he was coughing up blood, and the swelling of the uvula is normal, and it's also normal for it to happen. It wasn't anything he did. He can't eat. He can't even eat soft food. Just sometimes, so they take your tonsils out and then they cauterize, you know, where they've taken those off. So they cauterizing is like burning. They like burn your skin, like searing the skin is what they're doing. They so a little spot came off, and so it made him bleed. So he had to go in under anesthesia again. So they could go in and cauterize the one side, found a couple of spots on the other side, and they took care of that. So now he's fine. I wouldn't say that he's fine, but you know, he's doing as well as he's supposed to. The uvula swelled up again. They have him taking daily steroids, but when you're taking pills in steroid form, it takes 2-3 days to get into your system. So they gave him a shot on Thursday, and then on Friday morning he took the pills of the steroid, but it swelled up again. So he had to wait, but I checked with him this morning and he said that he's doing better. But he can't eat food yet, and he's just barely able to get something down. But the doctor said that this is brutal. He said this is one of the most brutal things we do to people is give them a tonsillectomy. And 2 weeks off work, 2 weeks can't lift, can't do anything strenuous, 2 weeks no regular food. But right now, I mean, we're trying to just get those ice, what do you call them there in the like Italian ice is what it is, in the tube. Trying to get him to take that and just a little bit of water, and he's just doing the best he can. But the doctor said no matter how much it hurts, you just do it, you just get through it. It is supposed to be a little harder. A couple of you have mentioned in the comments about you had tonsillectomy and how hard it was, and one of you said that you threw up and, just a horrible time. I'm concerned about him throwing up because he's taking that really strong pain medicine every 4 hours, and he has no food in his stomach. So far, he's doing okay. I'm not sure. I would have already thrown up. I can't tolerate meds like that without any food in my stomach. So let's see. There's that. Okay. So today's Saturday. I'm on day 4. I called the neurologist about my head, and they put me on a steroid pack where it's 6 days. So I take 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I think I had, let's see if I'm on day 4, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. I guess I had 3 pills this morning. And that is to reduce inflammation. So the idea is that what they told me is that this is called a migraine cycle, and it's just not going away. I really don't know if the steroid is doing that much for me, but I was up all night long on Thursday night with Christian, and I did just fine, and I just took like a couple of cat naps until I went to bed last night, and I'm hurting today, but it's not anything more than what I've been feeling. So maybe I'm a hair better, but I wouldn't say I'm at all good. My body is tired and my spirit is tired, but I am not without hope. A Christian should never be without hope, because my hope is in Jesus Christ. My hope is in God. My hope is in heaven once I die, if I live my life according to the Word of God. People that take their life, it's because they don't have any hope. There's nothing there. I mean, they're just dead inside, and they have no hope. That's the best way to describe it, is that there is no hope. And I do have hope. My life is not over. This is not the worst thing in the world. My life feels very limited, but there's a lot going on in the world. Life is not about me. God's big picture is about saving souls, and I always remember that the big picture is God saving souls, and no matter what's going on with me or what's not going on with me, no matter how happy or sad or good or bad, no matter what, God's out saving souls, and that's what matters the most. So I will be okay. I don't know when I'll be okay. I'll be better. I don't know when I'm going to be better. Nerdy One, I think you asked me about the weather. Yes, since this started, the weather has been like inclement. There's been clouds in the skies, but on Friday morning, I woke up hurting a lot. There wasn't a cloud in the sky, so then I kind of got sad, because that totally threw out the window the fact that the weather might be affecting my head. But later on in the day, a storm came through, clouds came through. I got a barometric pressure thing on my phone. I don't understand it. There are different ways that they've got these little letters of how you can read the numbers. So it's been between whatever they are, I don't know, BHZ or something, 671 and 678. So I changed it last night so that it's like 20, 30, 40, and it's right about, when I looked at it last night, I think it was about 29. And when you go to the Weather Channel, they use those numbers. They don't use these 671 numbers. They use like 29 or 30. I don't have any idea what that means. I'm looking at it, but I don't know how to interpret that at all, except that when my head gets better, I can look to see if the barometric pressure is higher, like significantly higher or significantly lower. I think there were all kinds of things I was going to tell you, and I just can't remember what they are. But I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful day, and please say hello to me in the comments. I've been up and I cleaned up my room. I can just take so much mess. The house is no longer falling apart. I will think I'm getting better, or I will feel better for just a little bit, and I'll walk around and pick up just a little bit. even just walking through the house to pick up 2 or 3 things can make a huge difference in keeping the house in order. But my bedroom has just totally blown up. I mean, I'm really bad about laying my clothes down, clean or dirty, and just not hanging them up, not folding them up, you know, and just things accumulating in the bedroom. I'm real bad about that. But I've been doing really well since I minimized my closet, went from 2 to 1. I've done really well at keeping my room straight. I've been really proud of myself. I've made a real effort. And I eliminated so much stuff. It's so much easier to keep things straight when you don't have as many things to keep straight. So I did go in there this morning, and everything is all clean and neat and tidy, and it's all together. But I am really done, and I'm not going to do anything else. I'm making this video, and then I'm done, and I'm going to go lay down on the couch. Whole right side of my face is not... Oh, I was going to tell you something else that I don't have it here with me, but it's BioFreeze. I've seen BioFreeze in chiropractors' offices. This is made by the BioFreeze company, but it is something else. It's like a cooling gel. I had Lauren pick some up on Thursday night, so I've been putting it right here and putting it in the back of my neck and putting some up here. I use a lot of peppermint oil, but this right here is a different consistency because it's a gel. And I've been using that with the peppermint oil, and I think I'm actually pleased with that. So that is something new that I am trying that I'm pretty happy with. And that's all. You're probably not here anymore. I'm pretty boring now. Do you have anything to tell your friends? I will look to the hills from whence cometh my help, for my help cometh from where? 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 The Lord. Phoebe, you asked me about this quote that I say, which I actually don't quote it correctly, but it is a scripture from the Bible. And I will make a video and I will explain why I chose this at the end of all my videos and what it means to me. And it's a scripture from... I think it's in the book of Psalms. I can't even remember exactly where it is. But if you go look it up, I don't quote it correctly. So maybe I should memorize it correctly and maybe give you like the real quote. Anyway, that's all. And we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. 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 Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. Can you wave both your hands?